First I just kind of try out some different shapes and see what I like. So I make them very light. And I try to follow the brow bone that I sculpted onto her. I think hers are going to be better if they're arched. So I just take this rubber tip tool and wipe away whatever I don't want. I just work on one brow at a time typically, so the paint stays nice and wet. And while I'm here, I'm going to make a few little lines. Soften up that brow a bit. Alright, and now I'm going to repeat on the other side, but I need to have her up to my face, and a lot of times I'll turn her upside down to do the same brow. So I'll show you that when I'm done, but it will be the same method that I used here. Alright, so here was my first try, and before I alter it, I wanted to show you that often the first brow isn't exactly what I want. It'll be close, but I like how hers is flatter here and then goes up, and this one is kind of just curving, and so I'm going to change that. I'll kind of use that. I'll use the wipe away tool to kind of wipe away the top of it to make it not quite so archy at the beginning. And then also, just to do this one, I probably dip my brush in the paint at least 5 times. I just get more paint and just do just a smidgen, just a millimeter, and then dip again and add another one, so it keeps it really fine on the tip. And it's just a nice slow process. And then I go back and I go, well, what do I think of this? And I'm thinking I want it to be more similar to the other one, and so I'm going to change it a bit by using the wipe out tool to adjust the shape. And that's usually how brows go, especially for the second one. Expect to adjust it, but it's very easy to adjust it, so you're set. Here's how she looks with her brows on. And I still may adjust them a bit, but I like them well enough that I'm going to heat set it like this, so at least what I have here will be here to stay. I did go through and added another line just faintly to her eyelid crease, just to shadow that just a bit more. Next, I'm going to play around with her lips a bit. And on my liner brush, I have a little bit of crimson that I've added to the blushing color. So it's a bit darker. And I go in to where the lips separate first. And then I line them a little bit. That little piece went way darker than what I intended, so I'm going to correct that right away. Just dry brushing it into the rest. And then just kind of floating a little bit of paint on the outside edge. Alright, so that's how that layer goes, and I'm going to dry brush it a bit as well, so it's not quite so dark. Then next I add a little bit of black to my brown and a bit more glaze as well. So I can just line those a bit better. Just going right on the edge and kind of underneath the eyelid clay. pretty. Then if you need to soften it with a dry brush at all, that's when you do it. Or if I've messed up a bit, I'll go back and kind of smudge it away, but these turned out pretty nice. Then I'll repeat for underneath. Now we've lined the bottom as well. And then at this point I like to get some of the hair that maybe I'm considering using and just put it over the doll, because it's hard to get a feel for how she's going to look when she's got that bald head with the big crevice in it. So I do that kind of thing and see what I think. Oh, it's cute. Now I'm going to heat set this and then detail her lips a bit more. Alright, I go through with her lips and line them more along the edges so I get the right shape that I want. And then I'm going to take a lighter pinkish color and just kind of add some highlight back in. And then usually I like to go in and soften this. So it just gives a bit more of a natural highlight that everyone has on their lips. Like that. Next I go back, I did another layer along her eyes to kind of darken them a little bit, and then I've been playing with back here. And when it gets to this point, you just kind of pretend like it's just a picture, like just a two-dimensional. So whatever things you would do to adjust your picture of this face, you can adjust now. Like I shaded the side just a little bit more so it looked a little bit further back, and same with this side. So just make adjustments that you'd like to. And on the lips, I just lined around them again. I lined down the inside, and then I just kind of, with a dry brush, pulled it forward a little bit into that highlight. Then I'm just going to add just a touch of sparkle with a little bit of Genesis Gold. So the light will catch on her eyelids just a little bit more. Then you can just blend it with a dry brush as desired, and then heat set her. And then when she's a completed doll, I'll probably go through and give her some eyelashes that you add at the end because you don't want to put her back in the oven with eyelashes on. And I'll varnish her lips so they shine well. But that's the basic painting techniques for a fairy face. Next, you can kind of play around with a few different hair colors and see which color you like and what it does to the features on her face. Each hair color will give the doll a different personality. So that is how we paint a fairy face. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.